Along the waterfront in Bath, a boat is being built.
Not unusual there, of course, but this one is small and it has got quite a connection to a piece of Maine history. 207's Don Kerrigan went for a look and is here with that story. Hey, Don.
Hi, guys. This is a story that you might have learned in school, but most likely might have forgotten by now. It involves Benedict Arnold and a piece of American history that began here in Maine. A key part, which is why they're remembering it now, that all started on the Kennebec River. It was wide pine boards like these, when tools were powered by hand, that helped launch one of the remarkable events in Maine history.
Clamp it to the sawhorses like we did on the other ones.
And a handful of mostly older Mainers want to make sure the rest of us know.
You know, Benedict Arnold was synonymous with traitor and all this sort of thing, but when, as Duluth Wing used to say, when he came through here, he was a hero. You know, it's not placed yet.
Mike Holt, his brother Patrick, and Rob Stevens are part of the Arnold Expedition Historical Society. With help from their friend Paul, they're building the first of 5 replicas of old-style riverboats called bateaux.
Whoa! One more.
These boats will be used to mark next year's 250th anniversary of Benedict Arnold's march in the American Revolution to capture Quebec.
We would like to have reminders of the expedition and what they went through up the whole length of it, from Pittston, where they started the overland portion, right through to Eustis, where they crossed into Canada.
In September 1775, the Arnold Expedition gathered at the Colburn House on the edge of the Kennebec in Pittston. More than 200 bateaux were built right here to carry Arnold and 1,100 colonial soldiers upriver to fight the British. Benedict Arnold stayed in this house as he and his men were making the final preparations to head up the Kennebec River. And members of the Arnold Society says it was down there in the flat area next to the river where the 200 bateaux were built that would take the expedition upriver towards Quebec. It was a daring and risky plan, but at a time when the future of the new country was at risk.
I mean, I think he tried to do an amazing thing, and he was gambling on everything going right.
Boat builder Rob Stevens knows about that trip. 7 years ago, he and a few others retraced Arnold's route in a bateau Stevens built. Up the Kennebec, around waterfalls to the Dead River, then up more rapids and falls to the ponds above and into streams, and eventually through the woods to Quebec. 275 miles of what then was wilderness. We take a deep breath before driving to Quebec now, right?
Right. Oh, yeah. It just...
They hiked it through unknown territory. And
oh, yeah.
Just incredible.
It just is out of this world what they did.
Despite hardships, hunger, desertions, and deaths, Arnold and about 700 men finally made it to Quebec after 2 months and attacked in winter.
You and me, we'd go and look at Quebec City and say, there's no way in the world I'm getting up there. But they get up there and they don't. That doesn't cross their mind. They don't see a problem with attacking this, probably the greatest fortress in North America.
Arnold was seriously wounded, and they never took Quebec. But fighting ongoing skirmishes, they managed to prevent the British from invading the colonies from the north, a crucial moment in the Revolution. That's why the Arnold Expedition Society wants these boats, these bateaux, to help celebrate that history. For Mike Holt, it's been a great education, acquiring what he calls Arnold Expedition fever.
You start working with these guys clearing trails or building a bog bridge, and they go, you know what happened when they went through here? This is where they had their shoes torn off because they pulling them out of the muck and it was so bad. That kind of stuff.
So they work to maintain the trail the expedition followed and do what they can for the old Colburn property in Pittston, now a state historic site. And they're building bateaux, just like the kind of boats the expedition used.
I'm just astounded that they were able to get 220 bateaux together in about a month's time, especially when you think they didn't work on Sunday.
Society members have worked for years to keep the story alive and hope this project, building and showing these boats, may help bring in some new recruits. History, Mike told us, can be contagious, so he's hoping others will catch the fever. The Arnold story that began on this river is too good, too important to let it fade away. Now, the Arnold Expedition Historical Society is working with the Maine Maritime Museum in Bath to create actual plans for building a bateau and make some sort of a kit so that other groups can build them if they want in advance of next year's 250th anniversary. You know, the story of that expedition is really something. It's, bravery, hardship, all of that. And if people want to find out more, they can go and visit the Colburn House historic site in Pittston, which is a little bit south of Gardner, on the road up from Wiscasset, if they want to do that. And that the house is deteriorated, but the state of Maine got a grant from the National Park Service to restore it. And we're waiting for word of when they're going to start that work. It was one more step to keep all that alive.
It's a fascinating chapter in Maine and American history.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Don.
Welcome.